All right, welcome back. And this morning I want to talk about actually something pretty important. And I just kind of want to share with you the way I sketch and the way I see certain things, and how I can translate what I see onto paper. And I'm just kind of geeking out right here with my Star Trek costumes book, and it's got some pretty good imagery. So I'm just gonna thumb through some of them, and I'll talk about how I would go about drawing anything that you see. And I know this one is more mostly of portraits and stuff, which is kind of nice to draw, but it kind of applies to everything. So let me just go through, and I'm gonna start with this one because I think this one's kind of easiest in terms to translate into paper. All right, so let me start with this, and I'm just gonna put it right next to me right here, and I'll draw it right here, and I'll talk about the whole process of how I would draw something like this. So I'm just gonna be using a 10B, so it's nice and dark, hopefully easier to see on screen. So I'm not gonna be drawing any crazy details or anything, but I just want to talk about, like, given something like this, if you see something like this, what kind of shape would you be seeing first? And if we were to simplify it, it could be, just be like a head right here, right? Just like an oval shape. If we were to sketch this, oval shape, neck, and then this right here, this little oval. Okay, and what I'm seeing would be the slant of this. If I were to roughly sketch this, I would draw a slant like this first, and then here's the oval, and then here's the neck, and then here's the face. All right, and then from here, then I would kind of divide up the face, adding more detail, whatever. Okay, so here's the eye right here. Again, the eye for a slant, and draw that here. And then the eyebrow, and then all the features and stuff. But what I really want to talk about was how you can go into measuring these elements. I will see the cheekbone right here, this line coming down. Here's the jawline. I will see this, because this is actually really dark, right underneath the chin. So that would catch my attention, and we can anchor that. We can use that as an element. And then here's the neck coming down. And then again, we back to this little shape here, this little oval. Okay, and then if we really wanted to, we can start dividing up the face. Let's say the eyes right here. So see this line right here, this little angle. Eyebrow. The nose, the shadow coming right through the middle, right here. And things we can pick up is, like, here is the highlight for the face right here. There's a light coming over this side, and then one on the side, and right here is all dark, right, in the shade. So we can actually kind of visualize that shape first too. All right, so here's shadow to the neck. Okay, and then if you want to continue on, then we can add in more shapes. Here's the hair, here's the ear. Because once you have these bigger shapes, then it's a little bit easier to add in all the little details. So let's say if I were to sketch this, let's just keep going then. Here's the eye. Here's the nose, about halfway here. So like from here to here, about halfway would be his nose. So here to here, about halfway will be the nose. So I'm gonna draw that. So again, this is really rough. And then the lip shape, it's about halfway to the lower lip, and then slightly higher, for the lip line. So again, halfway, slightly higher. So this lip should be right around here. I mean, approximately. And again, you see me do this a lot, judging from the angles, to get the corner of the nose and things like that, the corner of the eye. That's how we measure. The easiest, obviously, is the vertical lines and then the horizontal lines. Okay, so yeah, obviously it doesn't really look like him, but it's a, like a really quick version of him. It's like almost like a cartoon. And yeah, I guess cartoon would be a good way to visualize things, because Everything, see how angular these shapes are? You just want to extend these lines. That way you get a little bit more reference, and then from there you can clean things up. Okay, so that's how we visualize this thing here. Let's move on to another image. All right, so here's another one that's kind of interesting. It's got some cool elements, and let's see if we were to draw something like this. Okay, so if I were to sketch this real quick, I would see the head shape and then the big hair. So if you add the hair with the head shape, it's really just like a big mound like this, right? So it would just be like that. You can almost just sketch this first, almost like a little rainbow. Round it off, so that's kind of hair is gonna be like this, and then right in the middle right here would be his head. Again, really simplify. I'm talking about like just really loose sketching. And then here's the neck. And then once you have this, we can come in here and add in the let's say just part of the body right here. So if his head's right around here, you can just kind of judge it, right? The shoulder's gonna be right around here. And then the shoulder pad, this is something that really catches my eye. So this little curve, this little shape in here. Let's see if we can measure this straight down. Straight down here, we can get the corner of this, and then let's say somewhere like that. So that'll kind of give us this little shoulder pad right here. And then this angle going back up. A little triangle here, and then the arm. Let's just continue this little part here, this little space in here. And then his hand, this glove, can be, if you judge it from the bottom of this, right around here, that's where the glove's gonna start. And then this can be just one big clump for now if you want to simplify like that. So the hand's gonna be right around here. Okay, and then the hair. All right, and then if we were to add in more detail, we can come back to the head right here. So his head, it's really long on the top. So here's the slant. We can actually add a little line like that. And his eye is gonna be about halfway of the height of his head right here. So right here, if I take halfway, be right around there. So I know the eye is gonna be right around here. Okay, and then again, we divide up this space right here. His nose is about half, and then another half for the lip. Again, really rough because he's got a little goatee here, this little mustache. Here's the nose, and then now we can shade in this stuff. So here's his eye. I'm using a 10B, so nice and dark, so I can kind of get it, the shading done a little bit quicker so you guys can see it. All right, and then along the face here, you got to recognize the highlight. So it's gonna be running down here, and you can almost draw like a little circle or just kind of go around it, identifying the highlight area. So here's the cheek. Shadow here, this part's darker. Let's get down to the cool facial hair and then the lip. So again, not too much detail because I'm just sketching really loosely. And my 10B is already kind of dull already. It's pretty amazing. It's so soft. Okay, so we can keep going, and that's how you do these sketches. The way I do it a lot is I would just start shading the eyes and drawing from there. If the size doesn't matter, you know, if the size matter, then you kind of have to start with this way first, so that you know that everything would fit into whatever spaces that you want it to. Because if you start with the eyes first, then you kind of have to go out from there. So you might have a really big head or a smaller head. But if the size doesn't matter, I actually like starting out with the eyes and just kind of sketching. If it does, then you kind of have to come in kind of what I just done and add in the big shapes, and then start dividing things up and adding all the little smaller details. So the slant is important. So you see this line right here, right? So it's going this way. So you want to make sure you get that. This line is almost vertical, actually. It comes out like this, so it's a little angle like that. And I'm just trying to show you what I'm seeing in terms of what I'm drawing. So again, it's all about measuring, like here, going up here, so this is off, using vertical lines and horizontal lines. Okay, this arm is a lot bigger, obviously. Okay, so let's move on to another one. All right, so here's another one. This is kind of like a more full body one. So when I see something like this, if you want to sketch this, you can start seeing the shape. This is almost like a little, this is what catches me, right? It's almost like a block, this right here, including the arm. So it's almost like a block. You can actually sketch something like this, and then here's the arm. Okay, so I'm just really roughly dividing. I'm just trying to show you what I'm seeing here. And then the dress comes down here, and this is just like a little bell shape. And then here's the slant of this. Curve, curve, slant. And then the legs kind of be coming down here. Here. So here's the dress for the legs. So here's, if you divide up this line here, here's the middle. So I know it's gonna be slightly over to the right. So if I divide this to the middle, slightly over to the right, and then from here, this one's slightly easier. If you look at this, from here to here, the middle's right around here, and it's gonna be, again, slightly to the right. So here to here, middle, slightly to the right. Okay, and then now we got this leg. So that's kind of how you measure. And of course, I spend more time down here, so now I know this part is kind of off. And that's generally how it goes. So I'm gonna come back here. So the arm should really be out here, because I'm judging from this distance, this angle right here. So this angle, and then this angle actually goes up, slants upward. So if I correct that, the arm should be down here. And yeah, don't worry about actually, normally I wouldn't worry too much about the overlapping lines, but because I'm trying to show it to you guys, it might be a little confusing. Okay, so I'll just erase that. And then we come back up here. I know this is really strange. I'm starting from the bottom to the top, but it really doesn't matter. My point is, if we see these shapes, we can start anywhere. Okay. Now, of course, normally we would start from the top, because that's just more of a natural progression, and that way we can see what we just drawn. Okay, and then here, if I look at this, here's the slant of the shoulders, kind of a little bump here. And then right in the middle, it's gonna be a little V shape for the neck, the collar, come up, and let's see, and then the head. The head shape, you can just kind of draw like a little oval like this, but just try to get the correct size. And that is a very tough thing to do, actually. So let's see our head. So I'm just trying to compare it to this length here. It's a lot smaller, obviously, than the torso. Draw something like that first. Here's the middle line here. And then for arm, elbow is right around here, where the hand is. So I know it's down here. So now that we know the elbows here, we can just kind of, it's almost like connecting. We can actually just connect that. Okay, and it comes down here. Her hand, you know, to the dress area right around here. So it's gonna be here. It's gonna come out this way. Okay, so roughly. All right, so that's how I would see these things if I were to just sketch real quickly. So here's the collar, again, really loose. And arm, shadow here, the lights from the bottom, dress. Yeah, the lighting is, yeah, it's pretty flat, you know, it's from the bottom. And then there's another one kind of straight on here. Yeah, not very interesting, but it is a red dress, so I'll give this a quick shade. The legs, highlights here, here. Okay. Yeah, I mean, the proportion, again, is a little bit off because just kind of speeding through here. This is way too short. So again, I mean, I wish I can get the proportion correct more, but it is a good starting point. You know, if you really need it to be correct, then you'll be a little bit slower. But my advice would actually be, you know, don't correct these things and just kind of keep going, because every time you do this, you're gonna realize you're gonna see more and more things, and you'll be, you know, a lot more accurate, and you'll be able to see these little angles right here. You know, the shoulder to shoulder, right? Here's the head right here. Okay, pretty straight. Angle of this comes out a little bit more, right? It's not vertical. It kind of has a little slant. So I'm see that. Slant of the arm. It's not horizontal. See, mine is wrong right here. It actually needs to go up. Okay. So it should be like that. And then the slant of this arm. Slant of the forearm. Okay. And when you're drawing this, let the lines go right through, because that's how you help to visualize. It's like if I visualize this line here all the way down, I can actually use that line to see where my arm is. Or if you actually go down further enough, it's almost to the center of this. Okay, so it's right around here to here. So let the lines run through. It's very important in sketching. It just adds more reference lines. All right, let's do one more here, because this piece of paper, I have one more area that I can draw with. So let's draw this. So this one is pretty simple. If you were to draw this, and oh my god, my pencil's like almost gone. So if you look at this, right, again, we can start with the torso if you like. It's really, it's almost like it's a rectangle, but slightly wider on the top. And then here's the belt. So that's gonna give you the torso, and the leg's pretty straight, so it's just gonna come straight down. It's a little bit of angle going out. And then the arms, you can look at this angle right here, here. And this one is pretty symmetrical. And then here's the lower arm, right around the belt area. It's gonna slant up this way. Again, I'm using the angles, letting the lines go through. And now I can draw in the, see, once you have this line, then the inside line is pretty easy, right? It's easier to judge. Okay, you have that. And then let's see, huge collar. Angle of this, straight. Okay, so it's just your lips right here. So I'm just gonna draw this whole lips right here. Yeah, don't stop because there's a head right there. Just draw the whole thing. Just let it go through, and then we can draw in the head now. down here, chin line, about like that. Okay, yeah, I hope you guys can see this. Sorry, placement is kind of bad. And then the legs, I don't have room for the legs, so all right, let's come back up here. So now that I have these lines, this one's dark. I really should sharpen my pencil, but let's just keep going. Here's his ear. And then let's see, judging where his eye is gonna be, halfway to the nose. And then here's the slip. Eye socket here. There's a curvature right here going down this way, so that's important. So let's just keep going. Here, his nose, the lines here, and then his lip cross. Another line here, where you guys can see this. I know it's pretty small. Shadow here is dark. It's not a color inside, you can see that. Okay. See, the lighting is pretty flat. The clothing right here, right from here, comes straight down. Lines, and then here's the badge. So there's not much interesting stuff here to shade. Okay, right at the elbow, see this little arc? One arc, two arc. Start with that. And then obviously here's the Terminator. Okay, so same thing here. This is darker here, right? These little lines right here. Come down. Here's the crease. One curve. And then this is darker here. So because it is a very small and quick sketch, you know, I just want to identify the big areas and then go from there. Okay, so you don't want to get caught up in all the small little detail. That's why like these creases right here, I'll just draw a line just like that and we'll go from there. Yeah, all right, so this one's kind of fun. It's kind of flat, but it actually looks like Spock, so that's really good. All right, so I think that's about it. I filled up this piece of paper, and I just want to share with you the process and how I see things, and I think that's really important. And you know, it's almost like OCD. You know, people with a disorder. I think I do have a little bit of that, because when I see certain things like a picture on a wall, things like that, if it's crooked, I'll see it. You know, here's the wall. You know, and if the picture frame is slightly crooked, I'll see that it's off because I can visualize that vertical line, and it actually really bugs me. So maybe it's not a good thing. And I'm actually surprised like how some people actually don't see that. You know, like when I go to their house and their stuff are crooked or things like that. It's like, God, you don't see that, right? But it's bugging me. So maybe it's not a good thing, right? But anyways, that's how you need to visualize things. So whenever you see anything, you know, outside or whatever, just try to look at the elements, you know, look at the angles between them. You know, what is this angle? How far is this space right here? Is it double of this, you know? And if there's a line here, you know, where's the center point? Just little things like that really helps. Like, where's the center point? If a line here, you know, where's the 3/4 point? You know, maybe like here. If the center's here, I can check it real quick. So center, so that's a little bit off, but close enough. And that's the whole point. It's just you just start visualizing things and you see all the connections between everything that you see. Then eventually you'll be able to sketch, and you'll be surprised on how accurate you can actually get. All right, so that's it for these quick sketches. Hope you guys like this, and you know, for you, whatever you guys like to draw, just pick up a book or any kind of reference, or even, you know, things that you see around your house and just start sketching, and it's a great way to learn it. It's just a lot of fun. I love doing this kind of quick sketches. All right, so I hope you guys enjoy these little quick tips, and I will see you guys next time.